The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips.
The tip of the tongue,
No.
the teeth, the lips.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, easy.
You
Yeah.
just gotta go fast.
Oh, that wasn't fast enough.
No, it's like the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips, the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips.
The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips.
That's the intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's episode of Clickheads. I'm Jared Barretel, consistently joined by Paul Sulpan Swole Papa Vaughn.
Wrong.
How's it going? Wrong?
Good,
Dead
though.
wrong.
It's been a good day.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic day. And just like every other episode so far, we're going to start it the same way. We're going to talk about Worlds. We're going to get right in. Man, let's get a moment of silence for the NA Copium.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had like a hat to take off and just have with me in the moment of silence. Yeah, play the funeral march. I mean,
done. I'm out.
It was a sad event once again for North America, but I mean, it kind of always is. So no matter what, I think it's still nice that we're at least making it to the group stage this year. It was like good to see us in another best of 5. I mean, shout out to Cloud9 once again for being the only team to do it, I think, in 5 years now.
Right.
Either way, it was exciting. I woke up at 6 a.m. today to watch that series. Unfortunately, of course, NA lost. Mad Lions is out. So we're looking at 3 Korean teams and 1 Chinese team left within the semifinals.
Yeah, and I think you and I have a difference of opinion who's going to take it home. But we'll have to see, because Saturday is going to be that moment. Damwon Gaming Kia versus T1 on Saturday, October 30th. And that's where one of us will be proven wrong. You think it's going to be Damwon. I think it's going to be T1. We'll have to see.
All I'm saying is, no matter what, I think this semifinal will be the real final. I think one of these teams is going to take it. On top of that, if you remember, like think back to 2018, maybe before that, Worlds where we had SKT versus Rocks Tigers. I think we're getting a series on that level where like it's 2 of the best Korean teams coming together in a best of 5. And I think both of them know that they can take down the teams on the opposite side of the bracket. So either way, whoever makes it through this is going to probably just crush their way through the finals. I wouldn't be surprised to see another 3-0 in the finals of Worlds.
No, I want a best of 5. I want some reverse sweep action. I need a 5-game series in my blood. And I think maybe my bias is a little bit encouraged because T1 has been doing things a little bit out of the norm. Been doing a little bit of the unorthodox stuff, the stuff that's shaking up like the tournament meta of misfortune literally every game. And I think that's important because as we always talk about when it comes to any tournament, there's going to be a meta that emerges early on, and then that means that meta is going to be what needs to be kind of dissected and deciphered to continue forward. And then regardless of who wins on Saturday, it's going to be another epic battle between Genji and Edward Gaming on Sunday. Still all at 6 a.m. This isn't our year in North America, but next year,
either way, I mean, not only is it not in our time zone, all our teams are out. So yeah, 2022, I think that is the North American, the year that North America gets to host the World Championship. So we have
4 separate matches in 4 separate cities.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
Which is going to be amazing. So maybe you guys can meet us. That'd be kind of... I'm pretty cool.
I'm not.
Sulpan's pretty cool.
Not nearly as cool.
But
I'll be there.
Sulpan's been busting a flex. I'm surprised his hoodie's staying on because he's ripped right now.
It's true.
Freaking swole. But the final kind of cultivation of all this, the grand final will be on Saturday, November 6th, also at 6 a.m. approximately. So we'll have to see. Interestingly enough, I think that I have to recheck. Before this morning, there was 6 players that hold the perfect pick'ems.
I heard it's down to, I think, 2 or 4. And then he lost a few.
Let's see. Let's do the pick'ems pop out real quick, live here on chat.
What's more impressive, actually, is that there's 2 people that haven't guessed a single match correctly, which I think might be harder to do. Yeah,
there are 2 people?
2 people that are at 0 matches guessed correctly.
How is that possible?
I mean, if getting them all correct is possible, in theory that is too. Although I'd say it's almost more difficult.
It's still 6.
Still 6?
It's still 6 people in the number 1 Bear Natra spot. Have you been bumped up or down in your picks?
I think down.
I'm still part of the Ancient Krugs with 1.3 million other people.
I'm still Brambleback, but the percentages have changed, so now it's much less impressive at like 8.2% or something. So I'm not looking a lot less cool.
That's fair.
You know what? Cool though?
I'm doing worse than the majority of the people. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
You know what will look cool though is the new championship rings, which are
oh my god
being done in collaboration with I think Mercedes-Benz, and they look sick.
It's actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and it's about time. This kind of concretes, esports as a legitimacy. It gives a physical presence in the name. Super Bowl rings are usually kind of the sports rings to show off. This could be the next big one, having a world's ring,
Yeah, I mean, I just like it because, I mean, a team wins, they take home the trophy and it sits in their trophy case. But then, like, imagine all the members of SKT who really all they have to remember their legacy and the times that they managed to win worlds before they left the team is the skins they have in game that aren't really tied to their name as much as, having that ring.
You get to pick the champion.
You get to pick the champion, and like some of them have like their signature in them on the backing animations. But like the physical ring itself, like that is like that's permanent. That'll stay with you. That's just a super cool addition to the already super cool world championship that league is.
Yeah, and speaking of cool, I mean, it's obviously been catching a public eye, maybe more so than it has in the past. During the Mad Lions versus Damwon Gaming Kia quarterfinal final game, the viewership peaked at 2.2 million, 2.3 million if you really want to round up. That is insane. That's incredible viewership.
I will say, I think the most viewers you'll get for a League of Legends game would be a World Finals where it's China versus Europe. If you get those two teams at the very end, I mean, China's got the highest population. Europe, because
they're fanatics.
Yeah, they are fanatics, and they're like I feel like Europe is almost known for crazy sport fans, mostly just due to soccer, honestly. But I mean, some of that carries over to esports, right? And you saw, I mean, this was a Korean versus all European team. Everyone was just excited to see Mad Lions, kind of this newer team that's been making the world stage a few years in a row now. Finally, like, hopefully kicking butt. Unfortunately, it was another 3-0 with a couple throws in there. But again, it was really cool to see a new team enter the world stage here from Europe.
And then just immediately be thrown into a huge spotlight. Yeah. But it is cool because, well, I mean, we don't often talk about franchising because it's not something that comes up in conversation. But most of the franchising there in the LEC is the proponents of that are these football clubs. The Manchester United and forgive me for not being too well versed in European football. But that's the only team I know. There's more and probably better teams out there, but I don't know them.
I think of PSG. I know that's like another world team abbreviation, but I'm pretty sure that's another soccer club that's also in Europe, not affiliated with the PSG team that's currently at Worlds, that ended up joining with the team in that area as well.
Interesting. Well, I think that's pretty cool. Throwing it to a little bit of those mathematical people. As of right now, beyond the 6 players that hold the perfect pick'ems, another interesting set of statistics is the highest win rate champions right now, Syndra. I mean, out of 13 games, 11-2, 84.62 win percentage. Aphelios out of 33 games, rocking the 63.64% win rate. It was Kennen at 71% before this morning, but things have kind of cultivated there. And a little sidebar, if we're talking about cool things to wear, we're talking about the rings. Team Liquid, I don't know if this may be a sponsorship for them, but I'm pretty interested. They're throwing down Naruto based merch. That's pretty sick.
I think it's actually the second time they've managed to partner with a lot of the bigger brands. I mean, they have the Disney Marvel jersey collection going on for a while. They had the Spider-Man jersey. Yeah, they're doing Naruto now. You never know what they're going to do next. I still think LQD is my favorite brand of theirs, just because it's right. I mean, I showed the hoodie last week. It's sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to whatever that releases. I mean, I'm outing myself as a fake fan here of anything anime related, but I've actually never seen Naruto, so I'm sorry.
That's fair, but the fact is they're releasing a headband. It's the Village of the Hidden Pony headband.
Wow, the Village of the Hidden Pony.
Well, it's got the Team Liquid logo on it, which is sick. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to delve into anime right now, but I could. We'll jump ship here as we go over to another maybe hyped game. Overwatch, again, has seen multiple years of success, but has been winding down to popularity. Overwatch 2, it was supposedly coming out sometime in 2022, but Blizzard might be pushing that back. Don't really know much about that just because they don't want us to know. It's kind of a secret. Blizzard does this really interesting thing where they have like a trump card. Like, our fan base is wavering. How do we lock them down? Boom. D2 remaster, something people have been asking for years. What do we got now? Well, Overwatch is falling off a favor. Boom. Overwatch 2. Oh, people are getting bored with D2 remastered. Boom. Diablo 4. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's still a big question of if it can actually revitalize the game. I feel like it's actually kind of crazy because I mean I tried queuing up not too long ago. All like the big streamers from Overwatch still play Overwatch, so I ran into a few of them on the ladder and got completely stomped.
I bet that was fun. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
What was fun is like still seeing the familiar faces in the scene, but again, like the queue times for the game, even for tank queue, which is like used to be like the thing was like tanks would find games in 30 seconds. You don't find games anymore. Right. It takes such a long time just to get into a match. So I'm hoping that the game can make a comeback because it really is something super unique, kind of combining elements of MOBA and shooter into one game. But again, I feel like there's a point you hit where once you tease a game title and then you don't release anything on it for a very long time, you kind of start to lose the hype train and nothing can bring it back. So like Overwatch 2, like the hype was there, I think, a year ago. And I think they're quickly losing the hype they had around the title just by not even getting like a playable build out there for people to try out. Or like some kind of closed beta or something. I mean, I know they've had the closed build test with professional players, but it's not the same as getting your community all excited about it.
Right. So what you're asking for is for them to give you a beta key.
Yeah, that's my roundabout way of asking. Please give me a beta key, and I will no longer shit talk your game.
I mean, sometimes that's what it takes, right? I think it's cool though. I've always been a fan of like shooters that are just about the guns. Shooters that have characters that you can pick that have, exactly. Precise run and gun. I'm sprint pre-fire drop shotting and I'm winning. That's real compelling gameplay with a lot of identity to the player you're playing. But I think it's cool to have abilities to gain like a big, possibly team winning ultimate, and I think that's a really cool way to approach the game. Similar to that is a game, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Valorant.
A little.
And for some teams, this might be the last they hear of it for the rest of the year, as the North American Last Chance qualifiers are starting this Wednesday, continuing throughout the week till Friday. And by the end of it, this Saturday-Sunday combo, one of these teams will be able to make it to champions, and the rest of these will go home for the rest of the year. And there's some popular names in here that are still in the contention. You have FaZe Clan still running at 3rd seed versus Rise. You have Version 1. You have Cloud9 Blue. Gen G on this side of the Riot spectrum versus Luminosity will take off on Thursday. And the match from the previous FaZe Clan versus Rise and Version 1 versus Cloud9 will face off there. It's double elimination. So you get knocked down to the loser's bracket. You come all the way back up and fight your way to win. But 100 Thieves probably has the best option, considering that they're already pretty much, I have like 2 buys, it looks like.
Yeah, not to bring it back to Worlds, but how come Valorant gets everything League of Legends wants? Double elim bracket. Man, I'm jealous.
It's just because they're willing to say this is how it should be done. And I'm going to be honest, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's really.
I completely agree.
I'll say this: I'm happy for Valorant. It's a really good and really entertaining format to watch. On top of that, I wanted to ask you: do you have a favorite that you're rooting for, but also a favorite to qualify out of this bracket? And are they the same team?
Do I have a favorite in this Last Chance qualifiers? I really like XSET. I think XSET is a team that plays their own individual way. We see teams like Sentinels kind of take off in favoritism as well as success by dictating the game, and the pacing is completely in their control. And I think XSET is a team that can do something like that. Do I expect them to win? Probably not against 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves is looking absolutely disgusting. And don't they have that Cash App house and stuff too to practice at?
The Cash App compound.
The Cash App hashtag compound. Speaking of sponsors, this is an interesting and really cool thing, actually. Valorant may be continuing to do the right things on the other side of the right spectrum versus Worlds. They're allowing co-streaming. As long as you don't like plug up the advertisements that they have, the sponsors for there. If you have sponsors and partners and whatnot, if they don't conflict with Aim Lab, with Credit Karma Money, Red Bull or Verizon, then you can completely co-stream this. And that's pretty cool, because what if you're like the only Yoru main in the world? You can offer so much insight to how Yoru would fit into this team comp. No one's ever going to pick him. Despite I want to see a professional Yoru, but you don't get blessed with opportunities like that all the time.
Also, on the topic of co-streaming, as a caster, how do you feel about co-streamers? I mean, they kind of take away, I guess, some of the spotlight from the main broadcast, right? Which is where the only place the casters actually have access. Do you think it's adding enough that it's worthwhile to the fans, or is it something that you think just takes away from the professionalism of like the entire scene?
I think it's at face level, it's taken away from the talent that's hired for a reason. But that's a really ambiguous question.
Fair.
Because of the fact that like there's a weird stereotype that because you play the game at a high level, you can decipher or you can cast it. And while sometimes that may be true, that's not a guarantee. I think to be a talented shoutcaster, either play-by-play or color, you have to have a very specific skill set. And that skill set's not always readily available by being a top-tier player. We often see casters get criticized and knocked down in the dirt for maybe being a little less
game
careful. Well, no, they're being less careful with fragile egos.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot of these players get ego checked by their poor performance. And as a caster, your job is to identify and highlight the high highs. Your job is to say, this is the graph of the match. Let me get this in frame. This is the graph of the match. This is the high. I'm highlighting all these cool things up here. And these are the low lows. I'm highlighting everything. Oh, even so far low, you can't even see it on camera. It's something that we need to do because it makes the story more compelling. If a top performing player just immediately starts shitting the bed, it's nothing personal. It's my job as a shoutcaster to make that story compelling. And for people that do play this game competitively or casually to be able to pick up any time they watch the broadcast what's going on. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, if you work in other industries like amateur or collegiate, your then job is to create a narrative that non-players can understand. We often see like the real, at least for me, the pride in my production and my talent when I do get this opportunity is in collegiate broadcasts who cast an event where these students are completely popping off and their parents are there to support them. They have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
But to see that kind of light bulb click on and then those gears start turning because of what you're doing on the broadcast, that is the whole goal. It's not to fluff your ego. It's not to say I'm a better player than you. None of that's true. It's to tell the story that's on the screen.
Mm-hmm. In a digestible manner.
Yeah, you got me lit there.
I got you.
You got me fired up.
Yeah,
that's something I'm real passionate about because I've had so many of these conversations where, and it happens often. It happens disgustingly often where players think that because you criticize them, that you hate them or you're ready to come and swing in. at them. No, you played bad. I'm sorry. That's not on me. Just play better. And I can, if you popped off, I would be saying the same thing on the other side of the spectrum.
It's an analogy I've heard before where you don't need to be a helicopter pilot to tell that a helicopter stuck in a tree was a mess up on the pilot's end.
Right.
And so
can you imagine the pilot getting mad at you for saying you shouldn't have drove the helicopter into a tree? Makes no sense.
Yeah, completely fair.
Whew, I need a breather.
We got you a little early on the I'm gonna let you finish.
I did. I had a little bit of a I'm gonna let you finish moment, but we're good. We're back.
Okay. Well, welcome back. We're here back. I think still on the Valorant topic. You got your favorites here within this. Can we expect a Wood 2 podcast co-stream of the VCT or VCQ?
We might. Unfortunately, I have a day job. I can maybe do Friday, Saturday.
Some of us work for a living, Paul.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/Barretel. Friday, Saturday. Plug. Come find me. You want to talk smack about my casting? Come on down.
Enter the arena.
Enter my arena. Interesting sidebar, though, while we're on the topic of like people kind of divulging and maybe some new things to get excited about. I found out today, because they just posted this article, that Notorious, the kind of infamous guild in World of Warcraft that's composed of developers and game designers, have actually started their own company called Notorious Studios. And even ex-co-founder for World of Warcraft is part of this company, and they're maybe teaming up with Riot Games.
Huh.
Riot Games is already, as a developer, invested in this new studio. So this could be beautiful. This could be a marriage of great things.
I'm still wondering if they'll just pull them in to work on their own MMO, or if it'll be a fresh new project.
If this is what it takes for a League of Legends MMO to come out, I'm in. Let me walk up to Garen and slap him, please. Let me try to hit on Lux, you know?
They better have... We need romanceable NPCs, right? Please understand.
If they made a League dating sim, I'm in. You remember the what was it? The Poro Blitzcrank game?
Oh yeah,
one of the best games, honestly.
I don't know. Cho'Gath Eats the World was more for my money, but
that's fair.
You know what you couldn't do in Cho'Gath Eats the World?
No,
you couldn't place bets on anything, and that's what I think we're gonna segue into our next topic, which is
keep
esports
me
betting.
In line.
Interestingly enough, the news we have on it is basically that Connecticut sports now allowing esports betting to be included within like their state laws. But there's been esports bets going on for a long time. It's actually huge I know it's huge in the amateur scene for League of Legends in the US.
Right.
And funnily enough, I don't do any gambling myself, but I've heard a lot about this from some mutual friends of mine, that the odds they put on matches is completely off, because the betting sites just have no understanding of like the power rankings of these teams and how volatile amateur matches can be. So there's supposedly some money to be made there.
I mean, if it's a volatile market, it's scary.
There's also a lot to lose, which is why I don't gamble. Yeah.
Hey, here's just a general rule of thumb: never gamble any money you're uncomfortable losing.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that won't stop me from draining my savings in Vegas, or on esports betting. Who knows?
Vegas is a very interesting place. They also have a pretty fantastic esports arena there at the Luxor, though. It's really cool. If you ever have the chance to go check it out, I recommend it.
I think that's actually where they hosted the most recent Evo, right?
Yes. That's also where they've done, I think, the past 3 Mountain West championships.
Oh yeah. Collegiate stuff gets big there.
Collegiate.
UNLV, the Titan, taking down everyone despite not having a program.
Yeah.
They're tough.
We'll see. I mean, what are you gonna do? There's a lot of seedy things that happens in collegiate esports, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's a
different topic for another day.
Yeah, that's the next episode. Let's see here. Yeah, got the Notorious got marked down. surprisingly enough, I don't know if we haven't touched on it on the show, but Left 4 Dead is back. It's back for blood, I would say. If you haven't heard about it, Back for Blood, the cooperative first-person zombie shooter, is back, and it's pretty fun.
And it's for blood.
And it's for
How many
blood.
times can we
and
there's
there's 4 zombies. There's only 4 zombies. It's really cool though, because they've taken something that a lot of people enjoy in like roguelike deck building and made it a zombie shooter game.
I think it's just cool to see that original dev team getting back together and just kind of not using their old IP, but like basically taking their old IP and being like, we can make this better. We can make a sequel that works.
And they did.
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's massive with fans. I've heard a little bit about it potentially being a little bit buggy, but overall, I think the response to it has been pretty positive.
It's scary in the weirdest reason, though. You need to be very careful of streaming it, because there's a jukebox that plays uncopyrighted or copyrighted music that will get you DMCA'd.
So that's something to be careful for.
Be careful, not for the jump scares, not for the zombies, but for the fact that you might get your channel taken down.
Imagine you see the music approaching the background, you start screaming into your mic to try.
That's the final boss, is just a giant DMCA zombie.
The final boss is you and your lungs versus the jukebox that plays the DMCA music.
Can you sing louder than the jukebox? Here's your test. I couldn't. I definitely could.
You definitely could. What do you mean? Yeah,
I'm very loud.
Yeah, we've had to talk about this
I've taught you the secrets.
Yeah,
it's all about breathing from your diaphragm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I know now. In practice, slightly less effective, but either way, there is a way around it, and it's by singing.
It's a muscle. It's a muscle. You gotta practice your muscle just like any other one. Your diaphragm is a muscle. I don't know if you could hear that on the mic.
Oh, I heard that one on my end, at least.
I hope we get some belly slaps for the people watching. Also, thank you. Guys, in most recent news, Clayster, Crimsix, Hydra, and Neptune fill out the New York Subliner CDL roster. And Clayster and Crimsix look to add an additional 4 rings this year. I was actually scrolling through this article, and I was flabbergasted how many teams have announced rosters. We have the Florida Mutineers here, Seattle Surge. All these team names are great, by the way. Toronto Ultra, the Los Angeles Thieves, Minnesota, I don't know how to say that, Rocker. It's got the Nordic O. I don't know how to pronounce the Nordic O. The Los Angeles Gorillas, because we're all apes when it comes to games anyway. The London Royal Ravens, the Optic Chicago, Dallas Empire, Paris Legion. These sound cool. These sound sick. And these are going to be the ones to maybe look forward to. No Idaho representation, but that's okay.
We don't have a football team. It'll be a while before I think we get an esports team over here. But either way,
it'd be easier to do the latter first, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's really exciting seeing these change-ups. I think all these rosters are 4-mans, right? I'm pretty sure Vanguard has been confirmed 4-man and competitive as well. But either way, the fact that we've had these roster change-ups, it's always really exciting, I think, for Call of Duty fans, because they basically get like any other esport, the new season where you get an entirely new meta that develops, but also in their world, Call of Duty Vanguard, but also with all these roster changes already coming through, just different power rankings amongst all the teams. I think that enough has been shaken up for this year's CDL that it's pretty not you never know how these rosters are actually going to end up meshing together. You might have too many star players, not enough leaders on your team, things like that can hurt your roster in the long run.
Yeah, and to confirm, there are rosters of 4 to 6 players. There's some teams that got some subs, which kind of also highlight maybe changing things up at the drop of maybe this guy's a really good search and destroy player, or maybe this guy only knows how to run around for hardpoint. Who knows? Stuff like that. I have some friends, which I didn't know I had before, that have, at the drop of a dime, whenever they want to, they can jump into Vanguard right now.
Oh,
yeah.
You know some people.
We might have to throw down if I can get a couple keys sent my way. I'm in. I'm not going to be good. You've seen how bad I am.
I think
you're actually kind of tricked out. You know, you're kind of sick.
To quote a random League Play teammate I have, Sulpan got that snappy. I've been riding that high ever since because it's the only compliment I've ever gotten in League Play.
That's not true.
It is true.
Your Emacs Jarvan will last.
That doesn't count as League Play. I'm talking Call of Duty League Play, not League Play. League Play.
Fair.
Yeah. But also, fair. I'm a cheesy mouse and keyboard player, so that might have something to do with it.
I wonder if that's going to continue to be the rule set, is controllers only.
It should. I think it's mostly because Sony and CDL have a partnership, so PlayStation will always be the console to play it on, and then also by extension, the PlayStation controller will be the controller to play it on, or Battle Beaver, or Scuff, or whatever modified controller you choose to go with. What's
so interesting to me, and we were kind of able to visit and watch this firsthand, is the fact that like the reason controllers use is that makes it even across the playing field, right? Everyone has like the same input lag and yada yada yada. And then the player's like, hey, can I lower my input lag through some sort of setting in the tournament? Like, what's the point at that time? You know, if you're, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What do I know?
Just subjectivity. Like, I feel like I have input lag, and maybe it's already like
it's all mental.
As it can be. Yeah, you're having mental.
You're having mental lag. Sorry. Speaking of settings that may help you or not, Activision's new Baby Ricochet.
Yeah, this is an exciting one. And I think Call of Duty has been needing this for a very, very long time. Yeah, you kind of constantly hear from console players the complaints that there's a lot of cheaters on PC, and not only just like the online system, but also like entering into tournaments and just hacking their way to a victory is like really. I have never seen this in any esport. Tournaments where people make other players scream like their hands on their controller and like their screen. So like they get like a camera behind them watching their hands and their screen to prove that they're not cheating and there isn't any kind of like wall hack or something like that. Like I have never seen that across any other tournament. So it's really interesting to me that Call of Duty has needed to do that, and hopefully finally Ricochet will bring some competitive integrity to the sport.
I don't know, because it's already had a breach.
I mean, it's expected. It's young, right? But like the fact that they're finally committing to like an anti-cheat that has a brand tells me that they're at least putting in the effort. Because I don't think before there was almost nothing. It was just like manual bans. But supposedly, this entire thing is supposed to be on par with Riot Vanguard, where it's doing things at the hardware level instead of just being like a software on your PC. So it's supposed to be like much harder to get around, which kind of also taking a much more traditional approach to security. I'm not getting too much into it, but
do it.
Of course, it just like the idea that an easier anti-cheat to crack will attract more hackers than a harder one. So if they're introducing an anti-cheat, it's already going to deter this many people who write cheats for the game. And then like the harder and harder they make that, it'll just deter more and more people. So hopefully we can get something to the level of Vanguard, which has just been completely like revolutionary in the FPS scene that just locks out so many cheaters.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I don't like getting those like 1 out of 50 drops where I like pop off and like run away from lumber, with 5 kills under my belt, and then I somehow get killed from across the map. That's not a good feeling for me as your casual Joe. One thing also kind of takes away competitive integrity too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you just brought up there, which is Warzone, is actually one of the points of frustration within the Call of Duty community, because it took Warzone, which massively appeals to a casual audience because it's free to play, it's a battle royale, and it's got like the whole like streaming cult following. Warzone being the reason that anti-cheat was finally brought to the game and not the competitive scene was like a little bit worrisome for some players, because they were thinking that maybe Activision Blizzard doesn't actually care that much about their competitive scene, and they're just worried about the backlash that streamers are giving their game on stream constantly, because they're always running into cheaters all the time.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah.
But that's the last bullet point that I have. Do you have any gaming related news you want to talk about?
Oh, is this time?
It might be time for my personal favorite segment. I'm gonna let you finish.
All right. Well,
I got a question for you though, and For those watching, I've been teasing Sulpan about this before we started recording all day. So he has no idea what I'm about to ask him. But I hope that he shares the same amount of passion that I do about this particular question. Sulpan, drums or flats?
Is this a music question?
No, it's a chicken question.
A chicken question? Oh,
drums or flats?
Easily
You're
flats.
Insane. You're actually crazy. No, you're insane. You're nuts. How do you get the flats clean?
You just
they got 2 joints.
Yeah, so like just get in there.
I completely respect the meat in between.
Yeah, it's like flat. The best. It's like the best part of the flat.
But you can clean a drum so much more expertly, so much
quality
more fully.
Over quantity. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
can you as an apex predator, the top of this pyramid, say that you're an apex predator by leaving some meat and some cartilage on the flat? No, you go to a drum and you just destroy it.
This is a different
that whole thing.
This is a different argument entirely. But if I'm an apex predator and I have the ability to leave behind scraps, that just truly defines you as an apex predator, right?
That defines you as a lazy butt. You're not efficient at your major role. You're the top of the food chain and you're squandering all your ability. Listen, you gotta get that. Have you ever just left a game that you know you could 100% alone? No, you 100% that bitch. The same thing for chicken wings.
That's not true at all because I have not finished The Witcher 3, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim.
Just because you can't.
No, I can. I can do it.
No, you can't.
You don't
got the mental. You don't have the mental because you're a flat eater. That's why you can't do it. That's why you can't finish it.
Maybe that's true.
I love chicken wings. Just give me any chicken wing. I'm going to say something probably even more far-fetched.
Okay.
Bone out, dude.
Bone out rib?
Bone out chicken.
Chicken.
Bone out, no bone chicken wings. Bone out, no bone in.
Oh, okay. You know, I can actually get behind this just because of the convenience factor. I just want to like when I'm eating wings. Okay, listen, wings and gaming don't mix, all right?
True.
I think
true.
We can agree on that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chopsticks and wings and gaming do mix. You pick up the boneless wing, pop it in your mouth, you're good to go. No sauce on the fingers, you're clean.
I don't want to incriminate myself, but I don't know how to use chopsticks. I go to a restaurant, I have to ask for the one with the rubber band, like the kid one.
Wait. Hear me out once again. It's a boneless wing. You can just stab it with the chopstick. I guess at that point you just use a fork.
I'm just using a fork. Yeah, exactly. Fork, boom, into the wing, into the dip, boom, into my mouth, boom.
The real problem is you can't eat your Cheetos with a fork.
Yeah, they don't have soggy Cheetos yet. I did see because we're on the topic of wings. Buffalo Wild Wings has that spicy Dorito sauce for their wings. Have you tried it yet?
No.
Dude.
I don't believe in Doritos.
What do you mean you don't believe in Doritos?
I don't know. They're just not that good.
I hope you become popular enough in your profession through casting that at one point you get offered a Dorito sponsorship.
Chance, do me a solid and delete this if I get offered a Doritos sponsorship.
Chance is our production. He makes us look good. I'm gonna let you finish, but the greatest thing has recently begun again. Critical Role premiered its first episode of Campaign 3 this past Thursday. If you didn't get a chance to watch it live, don't worry. It is available on VOD at any time for subscribers. But most importantly, it's free on YouTube right now. Every Monday, the following Monday of that Thursday, that episode will be there on YouTube. And guys, if you need any sort of inspiration, if you have had the itchy dice rolling fingers and just need something to fill that void, Critical Role has got your back. They're voice actors playing D&D, being nerds. But more importantly, they're voice actors that we all know. We've heard these voices before multiple times as nerds.
Yeah, I think what's exciting always about Critical Role is the fact that they like D&D entirely is just an improv game, right? And actors
Right.
are going to be the best at that, on top of having really cool voices to add to the story. And so it really is a really immersive experience. I haven't watched much of Critical Role myself, but if you
It's
are into
perfect time to
D&D,
start.
yeah, there's no time like the present to start, because you're starting at a new storyline. It's a new season. Like, just think about it, a new season with nothing continuing from the last one, Black Mirror style. They just clean slate,
It's
going again.
the world's the same, but that's the only kind of continuity between the campaigns. And these campaigns run for like over a year.
Yeah, it's
So it's
exciting
something.
stuff.
There's also opportunity for you to listen to it podcast style on your podcast apps. Just plug it in, maybe while you go for a nice workout sesh. Just listen to your new favorite Critical Role. I love them. I'm pretty biased when it comes down to it, but that's what this segment's all about. Sulpan, you got any words?
I'm gonna let you finish, but it's time to decide. You have to choose an alliance. We got
An alliance?
and it's all coming next month. Vanguard November 5th, Halo Infinite November 15th, Battlefield 2042 November 19th.
Oh.
Each of them, in theory, with the slight exception of Halo Infinite, a $60 game. What are you choosing?
Halo.
Halo? Immediately?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll dabble in the other two for sure. But if I were to pick one to stick to, it's Halo. I've seen a lot of the things that they've done different with this game, and I'm very impressed. The most notable, I think, was Moist Critical. For those that don't know, famous streamer, YouTube content creator, found a bug where you can bind your melee to scroll wheel, and there's no end lag for the input.
Wait,
so you just
no way.
you just free scroll your mouse wheel, and you just like Saitama just go. Yeah, it's awesome.
Machine gun blows.
I guess it's not Saitama. That's a bad reference. He's One Punch Man. My apologies.
That's too many punches for
That's
him.
too many punches. Yeah.
I don't know enough about anime to figure out so many punches a lot. But either way, for me,
there's a very specific isn't it like JoJo's Adventure or something? I'm making
JoJo's
so
Bizarre
many people
Adventure,
mad.
and there's a punchy guy in that, but I don't know enough about anime.
Hey, put your flame about anime in the chat in the comments.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to all the Call of Duty players who hype themselves up with anime gifs. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've even heard a lot of people that have competitively played Cold War want to switch over to Halo because they don't have a lot of aspirations for Vanguard.
That's too bad. I'm really enjoying the setting for it. So for context, I've played the beta for 2042 and Vanguard.
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to sneak my way into the Halo Infinite beta, but I've played Splitgate, which, I mean, it's the closest I guess I can get right now.
It's not the same.
Splitgate
Splitgate's the Wild West. Halo's more refined than that.
I would probably agree with that, just from what I've seen gameplay wise from Halo. I think Halo's the most exciting for me because it's the first time we're getting a Halo game that feels like it's being built for all platforms, while the rest of them are just kind of ported over. Like when the Master Chief Collection dropped, I tried playing like Halo 3, Halo 4. It just felt like really clunky and really odd. And it might just be like the quality of life changes that we have in current shooters versus old shooters. But I just didn't enjoy it that much. So I'm hoping Halo Infinite will finally be like the reason I start playing Halo, because I really enjoyed Combat Evolved when I was like super young, and maybe finally Halo Infinite will be like the one that brings me back.
I've witnessed this, and I don't know if it's just that we were tougher when we were younger, but I have friends that like top frag whatever shooter they play, like 30-3, stuff like that, like insane numbers in PvP, Valorant, Call of Duty, whatever. I watched them try to play the Halo 2 campaign on Legendary, and they got rocked. So I don't know if we were just better gamers back then, because I remember going through that stuff easy peasy, getting all the skulls turned on. It didn't matter. I don't know if they just increased the difficulty or what happened, but I was like, what is going on with this game?
I would say different styles. I remember how slow you have to play that, because it takes like 2 full clips just to kill an elite from like the AR.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's just frustratingly hard to get through, because difficulty in that game isn't really difficulty. It's just increasing the health bars. It's like it's just all the numbers just go And then you got to deal with all that. Yeah, complete bullet sponge on every single character. I think for a lot of players, they just get frustrated on the time to kill, and then they just they just die because they're like, I just want to kill this guy and move on, and then they can't.
You can't because he has triple the health.
Oh yeah.
By the way, very lazy game design aspect is the bullet sponge mentality, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was different time. Game design philosophy. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little.
What is it? You know what? I have a little tidbit. I'm gonna put this out in the ether because manifest and whatnot. Let's get a new gen rock bands. Let's get a new gen Guitar Hero game rocking. Somebody somewhere, please make this happen. That was the best. That was the best time.
I just broke my mic.
It's out there in ether. You broke your microphone.
No, it's okay. Hang on.
You're floating.
The stand is just fragile. We're good now, I promise.
Your gravity's been thrown off and you're tempted to defy it and float into the air.
There's been like a huge mic peak in the middle of the broadcast now, and I'm so sorry, Chance. So my microphone's slamming into its own stand.
Do I sound louder when I do this?
You do, yeah, a little. You're nice and bassy.
I am very bassy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. Me and Sulpan got some macaroni to make, I think.
Mo Bettas for me.
Make some macaroni. Mo Bettas?
Mo Bettas.
What'd you get?
Teriyaki and tempura shrimp. Yeah.
I think their tempura shrimp's weird.
Yeah.
It's that no shrimp should be that long. They're like this long, folks.
It's okay.
The shrimp.
They're just not curled up. It's fine, I promise.
Is that that's what they look like when they stretch?
I have no idea. I'm just trying to justify my bad eating habits.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying tuned and watching. We'll catch you next episode. Finger guns.
All right, the outro. Finger guns.
Where's my... There we go.
Look at him so high.
This is how I'm ADSing.